All right.
Quite well suited.
I'm gonna catch up with Eliza for a bit over here.
Yo,
Please
dude.
make sure we don't get killed.
Okay.
Ah,
Well, well,
wow.
well.
Holy shit, it's been a fucking while,
It's
man.
been... I can barely even begin to think about what you all have had to go through and experience.
Fuck, dude. I mean, it it was a lot. It was a lot of well, I'll start from the beginning. So, I'm in prison and basically Lang and Sab and them leave, and I thought you were getting brought to the hospital. I didn't know you were already there and they were like going looking for you or whatever, but then um basically we hear that the police are coming in, and I look around and there's not many Cleveland people left and they're getting ready to fight. And I was like, guys, like, why are you going to die for this thing that doesn't even make sense? Like, what are you standing for here? What are you falling for? Nothing. Right? And I was trying to reason with Andy and I was like, don't throw away your lives for this vision that never became what it was meant to be. You think Sab's out there right now, like, fighting for Cleveland? No, he's gonna give it up instantly. And they didn't listen to me. And then Harry walked in and said, Sab says Cleveland's over. I was like, right, great. So time ticked by, and everybody, you know, listened to Big Dog Sab and agreed to surrender. So, you know, I go out front with Clark and whoever else, and we're waiting for the police to come in. And Clark and I have this conversation regarding what Cleveland was and what they did to us, and, you know, no accountability taken. And I think I ended up becoming the blueprint for everything they hate because I spoke up, which, you know, I don't mind. And then Brian Knight shows up and they all arrest us and yada yada. I'm in a wheelchair, so I get cuffed to the wheel, and Brian Knight says, CJ, come here. I'm like, what? Pulls me to the side and he says, before anything, I want you to know that this is your fault. And I say, what is my fault? He says, you know, if you would have just spoken to me before, if at any point in your life you would have, like, given me anything, this wouldn't have happened. And then he tells me that Lang and Sab were taken by the Faceless. And I mean, there wasn't much I could do. I was sat in a fucking chair, helpless, hopeless, angry at everyone around me. And the next day I get told by Omar, the DOC, he said, listen, CJ, they're lying to you. Brian Knight is lying. I say, well, that's, like, in what capacity? Are they taken? He says, yes, but he thinks that Brian Knight set them up. I said I could believe that.
Really?
Yeah, and he says, the transport, we were supposed to be going to a safe house. Now, I know where that safe house is, and it was not in the direction of the route we took. We went towards the military base. And then, and think about this, Omar was in this transport, okay? A transport of Lang and Sab. Omar, the DOC, was in this transport. Barely any officers. And it gets hit. Everybody gets shot. Brian keeps driving with Lang and Sab. Ends up in the military base. And doesn't get shot. Lang and Sab get taken. Now, something rubbed me wrong about this whole situation, because when Brian first pulled me to the side, I made a fucking smart-ass joke, and I said, like, where are we going, Brian? and like pretended to be scared that he was going to like, take me and kill me, because at the time I thought Frost was dead, was his ex-husband. So I thought Brian hated me because I put the hit out on Frost that got him killed and twatted it out. Turns out Frost isn't even dead. But Brian, when I said that, when I was like, oh my god, are you gonna like take me? Where are you taking me? Are you just gonna take me to kill me? His reaction was very strange. It was almost like panicked, like I knew something I didn't. So I was like, I didn't think anything of it until I heard that from Omar, and I was like, wait a second. Did he think that I knew what he had done? Anyway, that's my theory on that. So, next day, for some reason, people in prison, I guess, like, couldn't face the fact that Cleveland was over and ran around starting to, like, beat up people that weren't in Cleveland. Like, they beat the shit out of AC, which I'm very glad about, by the way. Fuck AC. He's a snitch and a rat.
Oh.
And then, it was me, Skipper, Tony, Bjorn? I think something like that. And we were going to visit Queenie, who was in the ICU. You know, she was still suffering pretty badly from her injuries after being made to walk into a mine. So I went to see her, and we're all gathered around her hospital bed when in comes Harry with Luciano behind him. And Harry throws a Molotov at all of us, yelling something about Cleveland. Yep, and it lights us all on fire. And Luciano goes, yeah! And they run out like high school bullies. And we're like, what the fuck is going on? So we're trying to recover from that. We're confused as shit as to why these people hate us after all we did was get tortured by them for not being with them. I mean, for myself, not even not being with them, just existing and then being forced to walk into a mine.
Yeah.
So then I'm like avoiding Nancy because, I had a lot of hatred for Nancy for the betrayal. And then she comes running up as I'm with Skipper and she goes something like, do you guys want to see Lang and Sab? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? She goes, the Faceless are giving me two choices here. Either you come willingly or they're going to kill everybody in this prison. And I said, okay, kill everyone in the prison. I would love that. And then Nancy picks up the phone and goes, yes, Charlie? Yes, we will come willingly. Yeah. I'm like, that's not what we agreed on, Nancy. And then I guess somehow everybody else in the prison knew this was happening or something, because they were just running around all crazy like and like chasing Nancy around and shit. And she's like, okay, we have to go to this corner of the prison. The helicopters are coming to pick us up. So we go to the corner of the prison where we're told, and the helicopters descend and they're like, get in. And as we're going to get in, all the Cleveland people start shooting at the helicopters, and Skip and Nancy are already in one of the helicopters and it blows up. So they blow up. The helicopter pilot blows up. I'm like, all right, I don't think we really, grasped the whole either you come willingly or we kill everybody sort of concept. So now y'all are going to get killed and I'm going to get fucking beat the fuck up and whatnot. So I'm just trying to, with Queenie, save Nancy and Skipper's life. And as that's happening, the Faceless just come in and bomb the shit out of everybody. I'm just hearing pow, 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 pow. And I assume people from Cleveland just ran and hid inside. So then another helicopter pulls up. They say, get inside. We get inside. They take off. And They bring us to a fucking island. A tropical island. I don't know where it is. I don't know where I was. My assumption is... I don't even know. Somewhere tropical. We land, and they put collars on all of us around our necks that they say, listen, if you try to run, these will blow up and they will kill you. Then, Charlie's there, and I have to resist the urge to try and kill him. At one point, actually at many points, I considered just running and tackling him and pulling the collar off so it would just blow us both up, but, I somehow managed to temper that anger. Then, we get brought to this grand, villa. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty nice looking. And for that first night, it was strangely, we didn't get beat, we didn't get shot, it definitely wasn't a nice place to be, and we were informed quite honestly that we would get, killed if we didn't work, but what we were there to do was work for them. That first night and then morning in the villa was just a lot of me tiptoeing around. I tried to, talk to... There was a bunch of, masked men with, I think red masks, and then Charlie. So, there was, Whiskey was one of them. And then there was others like Foxtrot and whatever. So, I go up this, building in the center, and and as I make it to the top, Whiskey's just standing there with a gun out, and he's like, "Where you going?" And I was like, "Oh shit." So there was a room up top where they didn't want us to go. Unfortunately, instead of getting to try and investigate what the fuck that was, the next, or I guess that day, we had to go and test out the bombs that they were going to use on this city. That was one of our jobs. So the first job we went, explode them. My job was to take photos of the blast radius and the blast itself. Nancy was recording down the logistics. Others were planting the bombs and whatnot.
Wow.
So we were doing that, and once it was done, we get back in line, and I'm pretty sure they gave Sab a gun and told him to shoot Nancy because she didn't pick up enough shrapnel. I don't know. Something about an amount of shrapnel was wrong or something, and they had to shoot somebody. Now, at the time, I hate Nancy, and I can barely, even look at her. I fucking hate her guts. And I'm like, shoot her. Shoot her, Sab. It's fine. And... Charlie hands Sab this gun, says, shoot Nancy. Sab, for the love of God, Sab takes the gun, turns, points it at Charlie, and pulls the trigger. And we hear, click, empty gun, no shit. He would give Sab a loaded gun. And, yeah, that got our villa permissions revoked, and we got moved to this camp that was on the beach, which, once again, accommodations actually not bad. Torture was shit, getting shot at was shit, the work was shit, the faces were shit, accommodations actually quite nice. We had a beach, we had the ocean, some tents, some beds, an outhouse. It wasn't too terrible where we were staying at. Then, other work we had to do was moving boxes. We had to fix satellites. So at one point we were fixing satellites, and we heard this radio broadcast go off, and I'm pretty sure it was numbers, and those numbers ended up being spelling out the first pillar, I'm pretty sure, or something like that. And then while I was moving boxes, I took the opportunity to just rob them. So if I saw anything lying around, I would just steal it. And they left so much shit out, books everywhere. And these books, Eliza, I have documented all of them, like copies of them, but actually the police have them now because I got arrested yesterday, which isn't good because I fucking hate the cops.
Oh.
Yeah. But I have all the information photographed. So at least there's that.
That is insane.
But these books, Eliza, the amount of information in these motherfuckers it's nuts. It's crazy. It basically outlines their entire plan for what the Faceless is, for what Darkstone is, for
Really?
yeah,
Darkstone?
Darkstone. Okay. Holy shit. Okay, Darkstone, before it became Darkstone, was called Black Ridge Group's Holdings or something like that. And that, I believe, was owned by Victor Blackwell and the Blackwell families. Victor Blackwell was a way larger part to everything they were doing than we originally thought. Like, way larger. So, have you ever heard the name Draven? Draven.
It does not ring a bell.
Okay. There's two families listed. There's Blackwell and Draven. And both of these seem at least of equal importance. I don't have any information on Draven whatsoever outside of that, but if the Blackwell family played such a large part in all their operations, I can only begin to believe that Draven does as well.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so what else? Now, Charlie told me a lot. He had many private conversations with me, which was not great for optics to everybody else at the camp.
Probably what he wanted, TBQH.
Yep. 100%. I mean, he fully admitted to us that he loves mind games, which, yeah. So, okay. So first off, he told Skipper that he was going to die to a nuclear core reactor. Actually, I don't know that he said nuclear. I may have just added that in. I hope not. I hope he didn't say nuclear. Actually, he probably did, because core reactor sounds awfully nuclear to me. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He said core reactor. And this concept of him dying, he was completely prepared for. Now, conversation that I had with him at one point. Oh my god, Ian. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay.
Ian Crawford?
Ian Crawford.
Boy, oh boy, dude, am I excited to go down that fucking rabbit hole.
Fucking hell. Okay, so I'm on this island, all right? I'm in this shit-ass camp, and this fuck-ass man just walks into camp, and we're like, what the fuck? Hello? Because we only see the masked man, right? So I'm like, yo, hello? And he just walks away. Tony, Skipper, and I are walking after this guy like, hey, yo, civilian man, can you save us? Like, what are you doing? How'd you just get in here? He just keeps walking away. Then he stops. Doesn't say a word. Just stops, okay? And he turns around all like superhero villain sort of shit. Walks up to me and hands me a book.
What?
And, yep. And I've got Skipper and Tony 2 feet from me. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, I have to be very careful right now. So I open the book. The second I crack that page open, Tony beelines it and is looking over my shoulder. I'm like, yo, hey, the fuck? So I close the book. I walk away. I go to bed. I'm like, hell no. I'm sleeping with this shit tucked in my arms. And I do. I wake up. Guess what that book is? You're not gonna be able to guess. Okay. The book is the property fucking inspection logs that you doctored, not yours, right? But
The
for
ones that
771B.
Not the
Yes.
wait,
The original. The one that has his name in it. Yeah.
Wait, the one. Wait, again, the original, not the one that I
The
doctored.
original. That'd be really creepy
Okay.
if it was the one you doctored. Oh my god.
That would be really fucking creepy.
Yeah.
But he gave that to you.
He handed it to me. Yeah.
That is psychotic.
I know. I know. And, bro, I'm like, fuck. Like, how I cannot explain any of this to anybody here at all. But I have to give them the book because everybody watched me do it, right?
Yeah.
So I hand people the book knowing that they would not understand at all what it is. And it kind of just gets like forgotten about over time, thank God. But yeah, that was a whole thing. So
he knows then.
he knows, that's right. Yeah. Nobody
Oh.
chews my food for me. I was in
That's fucking
interrogation
crazy.
yesterday with Brian Knight. He sits down across from me. He goes, CJ, I know that, or do you know Ian Crawford, who was on the island? And I said, well, we didn't get any names from these people. Like, they were all like Foxtrot, Whiskey, blah, blah, blah. I found out on that island that Ian Crawford was Ian Crawford. Okay? Hold on. I'm going to jump between these two explanations real quick. First off, Brian Knight says, okay, well, I know that Ian Crawford handed you a book. And I'm like, first of all, like, are we kidding, guys? Like, how the fuck does he know that? Still haven't figured that one out. But I mean, it would have had to have been somebody on the island.
Did Alfonso tell him? Because Brian told me that he got, I'm trying to recall if it was from Alfonso specifically, but he gave me a crazy rundown on things about, you know, how you all allegedly escaped and how you may or may not have gotten a book from Ian Crawford, because Ian Crawford has been a name that's come up quite a lot with us, but I will hold on to that until you finish what you said.
Well, I don't know why Sab would tell him that. Oh God.
Now, it could
I don't
just
know
be
why
Brian
Sab would do anything,
planting seeds, you know? But the fact that he has that information, regardless, is interesting.
Yeah. Anyway. So, I spend a day sleeping in, and when I wake up the next day, they come up to me and they're like, not they, like, the people I was on the island with, the people that survived. And they're like, okay, we were working, so we also had to, like, plant and water a bunch of crops. They were like, we were working there, and Charlie just killed all of the red masks around him, pulled us all to the side, and was like, I need you guys to find a guy named Ian Crawford, capture him, and tell me. Which, first of all, I don't know who the fuck Jonathan thinks we are to be able to go and, like, tackle a man and hold him down while we're in their custody. But whatever. But he made it out to seem like he didn't trust the people around him. So his implication was that Ian Crawford was a guy that he shot 5 years ago. Okay? And at the time, I believe that, if not both of them, at least Ian Crawford worked for Darkstone. Or potentially what was before Darkstone. I don't know the timeline on that. I think it was Darkstone, though. And he was under the impression that Ian Crawford died that day. But then he said, now Ian walks around and he's untouchable. The bosses won't let me kill him, but he's alive. And it drives Charlie nuts. This is all alleged because it comes from the faces. So we can't trust the information, but it's alleged what they say. So yeah, Ian is this guy that was shot by Charlie, but then survived and now can't be killed by the Faceless. He's protected by the Faceless for God knows what reason, and also knows Roman clearly because of the house, and knows us. In interrogation with Knight, Knight says, I know you know Ian Crawford. I know he met with you, and I know he's going to meet with you again. I'm like, I'm not saying shit at this point, right? He's like, I want you to understand that Ian Crawford has been working all sides. He's given you stuff. He's given us stuff. He's helped the Faceless. He's helped Darkstone. He's helped us. He's helped you, which debatable. No, he fucking hasn't, by the way. And he's like, personally, I believe that he is like at the top of all of this. Now, do I believe a single word that Brian Knight says? No, not really. But that is his theory. Then, back to the island. Ian Crawford popped up a few more times. Once he walked in, looked at Nancy, and then walked away without saying anything, which, granted, I don't blame him. I also would do that. Still working on my issues with her. Okay. Let's try and stay focused here, right? So I had a conversation with Charlie, another one, in which I said, listen, Charlie, give me a gun right now. If I see Ian Crawford, I'll kill him. I got you. Don't worry. And he said, how are you going to do that? I said, if I see the man, I'm going to shoot him. What do you mean? And then he switched topics, and then we got back on it because I said, once again, yo. Oh, he said something like, now Ian Crawford is another mystery that we don't understand. And I said, well, he ain't a mystery if he's dead. Give me that gun. And Charlie said, CJ, I don't know if you just think I'm stupid or what you're trying to do. I said, what's wrong? You think I'll shoot you? And he said, you know what? I don't actually think you would shoot me. I don't think you would shoot me because you would die. So I will give you a gun right now. You can hold me up and you'll blow up. We'll both die. And then he said, all dramatic like he was giving a supervillain monologue, he goes, I'm ready. I'm ready for this shit. The second I put this mask on, I was ready for it. Because I got a lot of people behind me to cover for. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I caved because I didn't want to die. So, fuck him off. Stupid asshole. But, maybe I should have just done it. No, actually, I have my soups to look forward to. Thank God I lived. Okay, what else? Right, so then I'm standing alone one night and everybody has gone to bed and I'm standing. Oh, sorry. Side note. At one point, Lang caused a ruckus that they didn't like while working because these fucking idiots told Lang that they couldn't kill him. That they could kill all of us, but not Lang. So Lang decided to like continuously rebel against them, which was actually quite satisfying to watch. And then in retaliation, they couldn't do anything because once again, they weren't allowed to kill him. But what that caused was, you know, we would get shot, we would get thrown in this giant water tank and like dehydrated, they would starve us, and they built a giant fuck-ass wall, just to block our view of the ocean. Do you know how fucking super villainous shit that is? That's psychotic. So we come back to camp and they built a fucking giant wall and blew up all our stuff. Anyway, at one point, we do this job and it goes well and they say, okay, you guys can take the walls down. So then we, you know, bang into the walls with a bunch of bulldozers and knock them down. And as we're doing that, there had been some guards on the island that weren't like normal guards. They were dressed differently. One was a woman, which we know that the Faceless doesn't have women because they kill all of them. And I kept trying to talk to these people because I was like, no, surely these are like These are not normal guards. And I ask one of them, do you know me? And they nod and walk away. And I go, holy shit, what the fuck? Later that day, right after that job, we're knocking down these walls and somebody's flying over and picking up the walls. And we hear a voice from the helicopter. And it's fucking Carmela. Yeah, the guards were Treepaws.
Oh! They had to
Yeah.
run away because they were getting chased for what they did helping blow up the gas stations and whatnot. Okay.
Yes. That was our theory. So
Brian Knight kept calling Carmela at the okay, sorry, I'll go over this again a bit later, but Brian kept calling Carmela during that time, so it's
I'm not shocked at all. Mid-conversation with Charlie about wanting to kill him, he picked up a call from Brian Knight, and I heard the other end of it for like a good 10 minutes. They were yapping like they were best friends.
What?
Yeah.
Wait. I think I was listening to the same
phone call.
My God! Talking about how he wanted Brandon dead, how he, was pissed off that he couldn't kill Ian Crawford.
Yes, it was about Ian Crawford, and I stood right beside Charlie, and he knew. He said at one point, he said, it's funny you're saying that, Brian. I'm actually standing right next to somebody who I'm talking to about Ian Crawford, and I'm stood there and I'm like, if he says my name to Brian Knight, like I'm pulling this collar off and killing both of us. Like at this point, I don't even know. I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to deal with this. But he didn't say my name, but I know he did that just to fuck with my head. Okay. So anyway, they take away the walls. One of them just falls into the ocean and creates like this pier. I'm like, fuck yeah, I get a pier now. So one night, I'm stood out there on the pier, just looking out, thinking about how shit my life is, and I hear, and I go, what the fuck is that? I turn around. First of all, entire camp on fire. Second of all, Ian Crawford just stood there on the beach staring at me like a little creep. I'm like, dude. I'm like, hell no. I'm sick of this dude. All right, you don't get to just run around immune to the faceless, pissing me off, pissing Charlie off. That's actually good, but we're still getting slack for it. So I turn around, I run after him. I'm like, hey. He just walks off. He's like walking off through our camp that he just exploded. I'm like, no. So I run, I go, Ian! And he freezes. And he turns around. And I walk up to him and I say, whose side are you on? This little smug bitch reaches into his pocket, grabs a coin, pulls it out, flips it, lets it just drop to the ground, and walks off. And I'm just standing there stunned. What? I'm like, there is no way there's no way. This guy is just playing all sides. Whose side he's on is a flip of a coin. So then I walk off after him after I've, snapped out of it, and I'm still pissed. I'm like, wait. And I say, okay, why can't they kill you? He opens a book, looks inside of it for a good, 2 minutes, then shuts the book, stares me dead in the eye, and walks away past the line where I can cross without blowing up. What the fuck does that mean? Why even come there and destroy my camp, scare the shit out of me to give me no answers? What kind of sick fucking shit is that?
That is... Yeah, that's... Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
There's only one person who allegedly has actually spoken to him, which I can go into this a little more later, but I'll interject this now. James McAllister has apparently met with Ian once or twice on top of the Legion Square Nest building, where Ian basically pinged him there and then didn't say a word. James McAllister is the marshal that has been the one working on the Faceless case the most. out of all of them, excepting maybe Brian Knight. So that's one person who I know has interfaced with him. Did not have a conversation. Hassan Bashari has been seen meeting with Ian Crawford on the golf course. Now, whether or not they actually exchanged words,
Oh my god, he does like
is
golf.
one thing. But if it is true that they did meet on the golf course and have a conversation, he might be the only person I know of that has heard this man's voice.
Well, I actually think there's at least one other person. And I think that's the man in all white. There's photos. I'm standing on the island. Charlie hands me a document. And I open it. And it's photos of the man in all white standing beside Ian on that building that has all the owls on it. Remember that one?
The Pegasus building.
That's right.
That Nino used to own.
Okay, well, I don't know anything about that, but...
Do
you have any food, by the way?
I do, yes.
Oh, thank God.
We can circle back to that a little later because I have I have thoughts that I'm going to share, but that can wait. Are you thirsty?
Just hungry.
Okay. Here, I got this. And then I got
Thank
a snack.
you. It's supposed to be vegan, so don't tell anyone.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I won't say a word.
Well,
anyways,
also
that's my small interjection.
Chicken, and I guess now we're eating that cat. We're not vegan. Okay, so these are the photos. The man in white stood beside Ian Crawford. Then, what appears to be, I believe, the Oracle, not within sight, but seeming to sneak around the area. Then, Charlie in a helicopter looking around for, I presume, the Oracle, and a man in a black mask. Oh my god! Conversation with Charlie. This is what happened. Okay. So this is, I'm just gonna go over what I gathered from it. Or what he, you know, we have to take it as with a grain of salt, but there was a day when Edgar and his people almost got shot. And there was a man in a black mask. The people in the black masks are almost like the people in the red masks, like the grunts of Charlie, but for higher up people, like security for higher up people. That's what I'm told, at least.
I see.
So Edgar and his people, or I don't even know if it was his people. All I know is Edgar's name was listed, are about to get shot by a man in a black mask. One of the, like, security. The blue man is there. Just as he's about to do it, the blue man turns and shoots the man in the black mask. That man in the black mask is allegedly Roman Gray.
Oh. That okay.
Yeah.
That kind of supports a theory that I have.
Now, Roman Gray survives this and changes this mask to represent his hatred for the people above the man in blue. Well, supposedly. To a white mask. The investors. But because of what happened to him, it is bloodied. Roman Gray, also known as the Oracle.
The Oracle. Mm-hmm.
Hey!
Sorry.
Hey! Hold on.
Oh.
Get! Sir! Are you serious?
Do you think he heard anything?
No, I was whispering. Hey!
Okay.
Who the fuck walks up here? That's not... Hold on. Are we serious right now? That's crazy. Okay, let's talk over here.
Okay,
Now,
I'm
you
very glad to
agree?
hear you say that. I 100% agree. I also have other adjacent reasons to believe sincerely that he is the Oracle, but I will hold on to that for the time being.
Okay.
But the fact that you came to a similar conclusion, it makes me even more confident in my thoughts. I can go over
Okay.
them right now if you want, but I
Actually, you
don't
know
want
what?
to
Yeah, let's
interject.
do that before we go on.
Okay. So, taking a look at some notes now, handwriting matching is always a dubious thing in the forensics world, but if you match up, notes that the Oracle has left certain individuals with a certain someone's journals, handwriting matches up pretty well. Also, Ian Crawford is the one that notified the marshals as to Amanda Miller's whereabouts when she was getting kidnapped. She almost, I'm a little fuzzy on the details here, so forgive me. She almost got scooped up by a security firm run by Blackridge. Ian gave the marshals a heads up that Blackridge were working on behalf of the Faceless and we're going to scoop Amanda Miller up and kill her. Now, what reason would Ian have to protect Amanda Miller? He's not going to have a connection with her. Wrong! Because he is one of the only people that Roman has trusted. Now, what is Roman's connection with Ian? Very good question. Is it because Ian worked as an inspector with Wolves International? Is that their connection? No, that couldn't possibly be the only connection, right? Because Roman was getting communication and FIB documents from someone, right? He had that whole chessboard, chess piece communication things, right? Who could he talk to in the FIB? Oh, maybe a systems analyst by the name of Ian Crawford. This guy is fucking everywhere.
Holy shit.
I have an old FIB file about an investigation that was put into Ian Crawford in regards to I'll have to remind myself of the explicit details, but basically it was about like a state level record like there was a break-in to a record system. Nothing was taken, nothing was compromised, but they were under the belief that some high security things were breached. And Ian was at one point a suspect, but there wasn't enough evidence to hold him culpable. So him being a systems analyst in the FIB, capable of breaking into things to gain access to sensitive documents, who else would be better suited to be Roman's contact? That is where my arcing theory comes from that ties those two
that
together.
all makes a lot of sense. Yes. Okay,
Anyways,
so
that said,
Charlie during this conversation tells me all of this about Roman Gray being the man in the black mask that gets shot by Mr. Blue, and then Charlie is ordered to go dispose of his body. So he goes back to dispose of the body, and when he gets there, the body is gone. Charlie believes, as I suspect, and this is based off no fact whatsoever, but there is potential, that Ian Crawford helped Roman live through that. So then Ian Crawford is in whatever position he's in. Roman and him have that connection from before, what you just said. And now also that whole thing, he saves his life. Roman becomes the Oracle. Now here's where shit gets confusing to me. Darkstone, previously Blackridge. Okay. Oh, wait, let me add something on real quick. That whole thing that happened with Ian, by the way, on the island where he like blew up camp and then flipped the coin and walked off, blah, blah, blah. Right after that, I hear a boat. I run out to the dock again. I look out. On a dinghy. The Oracle.
What?
Yeah. Oh my god, I just thought of something
crazy.
else. Okay, so the Oracle on a boat stands up on the dinghy, pulls out a fucking grapple gun, grapples onto the top of the mountain, looks down at me, and then grapples off back onto the dinghy and drives away on the boat. And then a fucking heli starts chasing him. And I'm like, well, shit. Okay. Now, strap in. Let's say Roman Gray is the Oracle and he was at that island, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We know Roman Gray hates the Faceless. If we are to believe his ramblings true. Who else does he hate? Another group, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say he, for some reason, hates maybe me or hates Lang, okay?
Yeah.
Why the fuck would he give a shit that we on the island? He wouldn't, right? I mean, I'm sure he's a nosy motherfucker, and the fact that Ian's there makes shit a bit crazy, but while we're on this island, Whiskey, one of the guards, drives a car into where we're staying, and a man hops out of the back of the car. He's handcuffed. He looks like he hasn't seen sun in years. He looks in rough shape. And it's very clearly, or what we're supposed to believe, I don't know which one is true, prisoner. And he takes him down to the water and has him bathe so that he's not smelly. That's what Whiskey says, okay? He gets back in the car and I'm like, hey man, you alright? This guy won't talk. He's scared that Whiskey's gonna hurt him. I'm like, yo, you good? He says, no. And he gets in the car and leaves. Then, part 8,000 billion of Lang shanking one of the guards during one of our work things and we get in trouble. We get sent back to the water tower area and get shoved inside. And as I get shoved inside this water tower, one of the guards falls in, so we start jumping his ass. But that same prisoner is in there. Okay? And I get shot down and start going in and out of consciousness and pass out as this dude's talking to us. But this is what I learn. This guy, prisoner on the island, his name is Ethan. He is from New Jersey. He works for the FBI in New Jersey. Where he worked. What is happening here has already happened in New Jersey. The full cycle of what they are doing here has already happened there. And Ethan tried to stop them, but he failed. And whatever he did to try and stop them annoyed them so much that they abducted him, took him to the island, tortured him for ages, and said, you are going to live to see another city fall the same way yours did.
Oh, that's
now,
wow.
Let's say that you wanted to make somebody suffer through watching another city burn. Now, how could you induce the most amount of pain possible? Well, you can't go after their city again. So, what if you go after a family member's city? What if you go after a brother's city?
Don't.
Ethan's last name is Ethan Gray.
Fuck up.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
I know. Now, this is going to be my 18th disclaimer about this, because every time I start talking about this, Lang tells me, Alice, you're just going to believe what the faces tell you? I do not believe everything that I've seen, heard, or experienced on this island. Anything pertaining to the faces, I do not believe as fact. I just take all the information that is surrounding me and try to deduce the most logical reasoning based off of the evidence. Okay.
Thank you for the disclaimer. I shall take it as such.
Now, Charlie is not a part of the Faceless. Charlie is a role. Charlie used to be Blackridge. Charlie went through, or I guess maintained the role through, and okay, I don't even know how to fucking explain this. Charlie is not Charlie. Charlie, when I say Charlie, I mean a role, a position.
Uh-huh.
A member of a team.
That matches up with information I received that Delta 1 and Charlie used to work together in Blackridge. And Delta 1 just...
Jake Forrest?
Yes,
Okay.
Jake Forrest. They used to work very closely together, and then they ended up splitting off, and one section of Blackridge became Darkstone. That's interesting. Okay, sorry. Thank you.
Okay. So... Charlie being the role, right? Blackridge to Darkstone to whatever he is a part of now, which is not the Faceless. What I believe this position is representing is a commitment and willingness to sacrifice your life when the time comes. That lines up with Charlie, what he was saying, you know, I'm ready to die. Shoot me. You won't do it. Stupid shit. But also, one of the books that I stole, the Charlie that was in New Jersey was Charlie 4. So there's already been multiple Charlies. This one right now, I don't know what number, probably 5. Seeing as they wanted, you know, Ethan to watch another city fall. He talks a lot, Charlie, about a lack of ego. And how that is necessary for the role he's in. Because when we first got there and we first saw Charlie, Queenie walked up and spat on it. They told me, listen, if I had ego, I would have killed Queenie for that. But that's to be able to do my job, to be able to put everything in motion for what we're doing here. I can't do that. Now, something that he did say that blew my mind, because I said, listen, the people above you, they don't give a shit about you. And I did try and use Ian, because Ian, anytime he was brought up or around, would like make Charlie angry, or it would no longer be like the mechanical, I'm operating under orders, Charlie. It was the annoyed, emotional, irrational Charlie, and I wanted to amplify that, right? So I'd go, isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy that you're willing to die for something and they don't give a single shit about you? You are nothing to them. You are a lapdog. And Ian, meanwhile, who, you know, you tried to kill and failed, gets to walk around like a god. Gets to walk around protected from you, even though you're willing to give your life. And he, first of all, didn't take the bait, but did say something in an earlier conversation that said something like, when you have seen the things that I have seen, you would understand why I'm ready to die for this, or why I'm ready to do this. And I said, what did you see? What does that mean? What did you see? And then he went shh, and pretended to be on a stupid fuck radio and ran away from the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know what that was, but
allegedly, again, taking this with a grain of salt, you know, disclaimer everything that I have witnessed and, you know, gotten info
on it. And I swam over there with him, and we're looking at it, and he's talking about what parts needed to be replaced. And then I'm like, okay, so, where do we get the parts from? Because I obviously wanted to steal the parts, repair this tugboat, and, you know, have an escape plan. And he goes, why the fuck would I tell you that? I go, well, why the fuck am I here helping you then? Why'd you bring me over here? And he goes, well, I brought you over here to inspect it, but all you've done is stand there.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I don't even remember what I said. I talked some shit about, I don't know. I talked some shit to him that pissed him off. And he went, oh, okay, you want to do that? You want to play games? And he pulls out this tablet. And he's like, let me just program your bomb collar. All right, now, if you take a step forwards, backwards, right or left, you will blow up.
What?
Goodbye. And then he starts walking away, and I was like, really? Really, you're gonna do this? Fucking asshole. And then Charlie radios him, and it's like, why isn't CJ moving? Why is she just standing there doing nothing? And he goes, I don't know why she's not moving. I don't know why. And I'm like, you're such a fucking prick. Like, come on. I didn't actually say that. I was quite scared, actually. And then he finally, you know, uncalibrated it. But basically, the premise of that whole story was that the tablet was needed to disable our collars so that we could steal the tugboat that had crashed that we were looking at to get off the island. So we made this whole plan. We had to get into a control room where he left his tablet, which was on his schedule, to steal the tablet, to disable our collars, to then run and get the tugboat, blah, blah, blah. And now the only problem is we were constantly kept in a small area. And if we left that area, we'd blow up. And that area was definitely not where the control room was. And, well, I tried breaking into the control room multiple times, to which the first time, I'm pretty sure Owl 8 walked out and was like, what the fuck are you doing here? And I said, I was sent here to get a forklift or something. Then he radioed Charlie, and I was lying, so then I got in trouble and got told to leave. Second time, we're all working on these giant fucking airplanes and shit to drop bombs here or whatever. And I just take off. I just take off down the airstrip, and I make it to the hangar where the control room is, and I see the door. And I'm like, oh my god. And I run, and I see the control room. I run to the control room, and I run up the stairs, and I'm about to open the door, and Charlie walks out. And I'm standing there face to face with him, and I go, hey, Charlie! And he goes, 10 seconds. I'm like, I needed to pee, and he goes, 10, and I just fucking booked it. So I was like, okay, guys, like, clearly, we ain't making it into this control room, right? Like, I don't know what we're gonna do. Well, that's where Ethan Gray comes in. Ethan had figured out a way, supposedly, to disable the tracking on our collars. But that's it. Not the bombs, just the tracking, which meant one night, we're just sat there after working, and our trackers, which we were told this was going to happen, it happened once while I was asleep, and they repaired the tugboat while this happened. And then the second time, we're all sitting there, and it goes, collar malfunction, or something like that, or desynchronization, or something like that. And we just book it, because we know we're not being tracked, which means as long as we're not seen, we will make it to the control room. So we make it to the control room, we bust inside, Queenie grabs the tablet, she disables our collars, we head straight for the fucking tugboat, get on the tugboat, Harry tries to stay on the island, and Lang goes back and gets Harry. Yeah, Harry the entire time was just, I want to work for the Faceless. I want to work for the Faceless. And we're like, what? Okay. I said, like, why? Like, what's going on? And he said he wanted answers. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Harry, but then they get on the tugboat, and as we're choo-chooing away, that's a train, as we're ing away, fucking helicopters come out of nowhere. So then it's a blur of shooting helicopters, screaming, repairing the boat, more screaming, shooting the helicopters. I think I shot Nancy in the head at one point. I don't even know. Everything was just, it was a mess. They were flying fucking jets over us, trying to bomb us. And eventually, I don't even know. We must have been fighting for days. We're in the middle of the fucking, whatever fucking ocean is out there. I don't even know geography. I don't know where we were. and no land anywhere in sight. It is fucking shitting rain. All right. Wind is blowing us around. Like, you step out of the cabin and you just get launched. The boat at some point is just like hitting a wave and capsizing and barely making it back up. And we're getting flung off. And at one point, I go flying off this boat. Like, the boat tips and everyone goes flying off. And I'm screaming. I hit the water hard. I come out of the water and I look up and I hear, "Don't get on that boat." And I look over and there's this dinghy that's beside our boat. And I'm just swimming back to the tugboat. I'm like, I don't know who that is, but I do not want to get on that boat. I get back to the tugboat. Turns out that boat was Clark in them. Yeah.
Really?
And guess how they knew to help us? Both
How?
Darkstone, allegedly, and the Oracle.
What?
Yes! Okay, I know. I'll get into how confused I am about that in a moment.
Okay, because I was about to guess maybe the marshals because they've been working with them, but that's crazy.
Nope. Yeah. So we're on this boat, just fucking sailing. We get away from Clark's ship, and shit's getting bad. The boat's on fire. The storm is just sinking us, and eventually it's just too late. And down we go. The ship sinks. We're all just swimming now. We're looking around. There's nothing anywhere in sight. You can't see anything. It's all just ocean. And, for a moment, we're just like, okay, well, we're gonna die. We're gonna die in the middle of the ocean. This is it. And everybody, dooms for a second. And then I'm like, okay, there's no way we can just die in this ocean. So then, after a brief we're gonna die doom sesh, we all just start swimming. We're like, fuck it, we might as well swim until we can't anymore. So we start swimming. Oh, by the way, Queenie hopped onto Clark and Luciano and them's boat and left. When all that was happening. So, yeah. Everybody else is swimming. We're swimming for ages. My lungs burning. The fucking multiple bullet wounds I have are... The multiple bullet wounds I have are burning from the salt water. I'm lightheaded. I'm dehydrated. I have heat stroke, but I'm also freezing. Everybody's just not doing great. We're all suffering. And we're starting to think, like, is this it for us? Are we, I don't know how much more we can swim. And we eventually stop. And we're like, maybe we should take this time. Maybe we should just understand when to give up, when it's over. We can't swim anymore. That's when we hear it. Helicopters overhead. It's the Faceless. They found us. I'm like, great, I would actually rather die in this ocean than go back there at this point. I don't know if I can do that again. And then... That's a plane. Faceless helicopters blow up! A float plane just demolishes them. Just goes straight past them, blowing up the Faceless helicopters all around us. Then it circles back around. Splash! It lands. We're like, what the fuck? Hey! Help us! Help us! I swim. No idea who's in the fucking driver's seat. Masked up. I think has a hood. I'm not sure. I was on the side of the plane, so I couldn't see, but this is Tony or Bjorn. I don't know. Bjorn's description. I'm like, oh my god, thank you. I don't care who the fuck it is at this point. They just blew up Faceless helis. I'm getting on this fucking plane. I hop on the plane. We take off. My jaw hitting the floor when I see land, and guess where the fuck we are? Fucking Los Santos.
Wow.
Oh my god. So, we land at the airport. I'm like, I don't even know if this is real life at this point. And off that motherfucker goes. Goes in and picks up the rest of them and shows us over. And we all get in stolen vehicles and we just drive up north and we make it here to where Sab was. And the rest is history. But circling back.
Oh, yes.
Let's say the Oracle is Roman Gray. Let's say Roman Gray knows everything about everything, you know, a lot of shit. Why the fuck would Roman Gray, aka the Oracle, why the fuck would the Oracle enlist the help of Darkstone to save us? Or I guess to send useless motherfuckers to save us.
That's what
Yeah.
Who did you say he spoke to?
Clark and Zeke was there too, I think.
Clark. Okay. Darkstone, very interesting. That is very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically everything I've told you up until this point, let me think if this is wrong. Outside of private conversations with Charlie, and the very obvious points that, you know, are left unsaid, everybody on the island knows. They saw all the books I saw to a certain extent. You know, they were a part of everything as well.
Okay, good to know. Out of caution, unless it is seen as pertinent otherwise, what I'm going to share with you, I'm only going to tell you and Lang.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, just because these people are privy to what happened does not mean I want them privy to more. In fact, we're not even supposed to be bringing any faceless shit here. This is like a no-fight sanctuary.